Did the field within that 25-year period, did it develop pretty much as you expected, or did it take some
I
unexpected?
can't tell you what I expected, but certainly the scale of operations grew very rapidly. I can remember, where I was Squibb in New Jersey, where it's Bill Brown, and going into that plant there. Initially, they had just a few tanks in the back of the research building, and they built this big, long thing. There's a picture of it somewhere. One of the articles I wrote, I think they gave me the picture, and of these. They were by then about 25,000 gallon fermenters, I think. I don't remember, but that sounds about right. And they were all lined up there. I mean, by then it was a big deal. And they were pumping out the antibiotics.
Yeah.
It was all mostly making antibiotics.
Yeah.
But vitamin B12 had come in about then, which was also being made as, and my memory here is not great, microbiologically. By a bacterium, I think. Is that right? Do you remember? So,
Largely possible because of the work that you had done years before.
the more work was done. All the basic ideas came from the lab people, you know. I never discovered anything. My job was the job of an engineer, to make it on a big scale.
Yeah.
And there were others, and then more and more like me, better than I was.
So in 1971, you were named the father of biochemical engineering, a reference that still applies today. What are your thoughts about that? How do you feel about being the father of biochemical engineering?
That was some editor's idea. It wasn't mine. And I found it kind of overdone and a little embarrassing. So I didn't worry about it too much, to be truthful.
So
I made jokes about it. The main joke was, can you find me the mother, you know? So, but I've always had a good sense of humor, let's say.
Do you remember at the time, though, what you viewed as the big problems in the field or the big challenges that the field faced at that time?
One of the big things that was going on then, where I did my own PhD work and things, was aeration, getting enough oxygen, because by then you were using organisms that were great oxygen consumers. They were oxygen hungry, highly aerobic, we would say. And one of the problems was, I said, to design, and at the same time, didn't create too much foaming, because all these media on which you grew these organisms were full of surface active materials, proteins, and amino acid, small chains of amino acids. What do you call those? Peptides. And they were great foamers. It was like a bottle of beer. So,
what would you say was most gratifying for you during your years as editor?
the people I met. I would say that's an easy one. Met a lot of people, went a lot of interesting places.
What would you say was most frustrating?
Reviewers who didn't return the manuscript.
Oh, yeah, I can relate to that.
Yeah, well, sure you can. But I wouldn't say there was anything terribly frustrating. I enjoyed it.
Do you have any particular memories about it that really stand out in your mind?
Yeah, I was happy. Certainly happy. It was a enjoyable time. It was a busy business, because I was doing full-time teaching at Columbia, chemical engineering, teaching undergraduates, and I was one of the, Bob Finn, I think, at Illinois was the other one. The two of us, about almost the same time, started to teach a graduate course called something like Biochemical Engineering. And both of us, we didn't know each other then, but we got to know each other.
You know, you and I first met at the University of Vermont.
Yeah.
When you were co-teaching a military history class
Yeah,
that I took.
with Mark Stoller.
Yeah, now that was a great class. In fact, I never knew you were a biochemical engineer until a few years after that class.
Yeah.
One of the ironies of this is the meeting that we're recording this interview for will be held in Burlington, Vermont, of all places.
Right, where the school, where university was.
That's exactly, exactly. So is there anything that you'd like to say to the many people out there who are watching this interview at the moment?
Well, I don't know. I have no great philosophy except follow your interests. Do what you enjoy, do it and learn to do it as well as you can. I didn't always do that. There are many things that I did quickly because I had to and I didn't really master them.
What would you like your legacy to be in connection with the journal?
I would say very simply, it has been an extremely satisfying time, a career, I want to call it, whatever word we want to use. And I would say to any young person who ever hears this thing, if you like something and you're willing to bust your tail a little bit to learn more, do it. Don't be afraid to try something. So, period. Nothing more. No more wisdom, because that's all the wisdom I have.